Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chike. So today I'll be talking about a very important subject, how to migrate to Japan, part 1. I decided to divide this video into parts because this is a very important video and I have a lot of information to give out. I don't want to make this video a massively long video, so I decided to divide it into 2 parts, possibly 3, depending on how I'm able to concise all the information I have in the next video. So today I'll be talking about how to migrate to Japan with a student visa. Okay, so first of all, I want to say that if you want to migrate to Japan, you obviously need a visa, except you're from one of those countries that the citizens don't need a visa to come to Japan. And if you want to come to Japan with a student visa, it entails 2 things. Number 1 is that it's either you come like as a scholarship student or as a self-sponsored student. So I will want to talk about the scholarship first. If you want to come as a scholarship student, number 1, Japan is a very lenient country and they have a couple of scholarships like MEXT, JICA and so on. They have a lot. So if you want to come with scholarship, my favorite scholarship is MEXT. The MEXT is a scholarship given by the Japanese government. Of course, apart from MEXT, there are still a lot of scholarships available. So, but in my opinion, the best is MEXT. If you want to come with MEXT scholarship, the Japanese government will do a couple of things for you. Number 1, they will give you a visa. Number 2, they will pay you a monthly stipend, something very reasonable. Number 3, they will book your flight from your country to Japan, and when you're done with the studies, they will also book your flight back to your country. Number 4, when you come to Japan as a MEXT scholar, the Japanese government will give you a tutor. What does the tutor do for you? The tutor helps you in all areas of your life. For example, with your studies, and your tutor will help you with many things like even doing your groceries, and of course you can't speak Japanese, and most times the tutors are people that have been in the same school, the same department with you. So what they do is they just basically guide you, and you just take over from here, take it up from there. So if you want to come to Japan as a MEXT scholar, first thing first, you have to get an admission. One thing you have to do is that you have to search for the school on the internet, the school you intend to attend on the internet. Once you get the school, secondly, you have to search for the course, and once you're convinced you would like to study the course, then you have to search for the professors. Their profiles are on the internet, on the school website. So you have to search for their profiles, then you write to them. When they accept you, then you can now apply for the admission. Hopefully, they will give you the admission. Once you get the admission, the next thing you have to do, we have to go to the MEXT website and apply for the scholarship. There will be another screening by MEXT itself. So when MEXT is done with the screening, they will probably call you for an interview. So when you are successful, they will also contact you. That means you should start preparing to come to Japan. So that's for the school recommendation. Then talking about the embassy recommendation, if you're not prepared to apply now, because I think the school recommendation starts in December, but you have to start applying now. That's the reason why I'm actually doing this video now. So you have to start applying now. Then for the embassy recommendation, if you're interested in that, you have to wait till March. Then one thing about it is that you have to go to the embassy of Japan in your country to pick up the application form. Then same process, you apply to the schools, apply and write to your professors. So when they accept you, you will be able to fill the form. Usually they will give you a hard copy of the form from the embassy. But I think if you're in China, you want to apply for MEXT, you have to go to go through the Ministry of Education. But apart from China, other countries, you have to go to the embassy of Japan in your country to get the form. Then after that, the embassy will do a screening. If they find you qualified, then they will write to you and invite you for an interview. Then you will do the interview. It could be oral, it could be reading interviews. So when you pass the interview, then you can now start planning to come to Japan. So one very good thing about studying in Japan is that, number one, Japan has the level of education in Japan is one of the highest in the world, and two, Japan is one of the most peaceful countries in the world. And number three, the medical bills, health insurance is very good and one of the best in the world. So talking about the student visa, if you didn't get the scholarship, there's still number two option. The number two option is coming as a self-sponsored student. If you want to come as a self-sponsored student, it's a little bit difficult, but if you're motivated enough, you can make it. So how do you start? If you want to come as a self-sponsored student, number one, you have to also apply to the schools you want to attend. You have to also contact your professor, get the admission first. Then I suggest if you can pay for the first school fees, that will help you a lot. So if you can just pay for the first school fees, then come to Japan. One thing I must mention is that school fees in Japan is not so high. Like in America, a normal master's or PhD student pays up to $10,000 per year, but in Japan it's just about $5,000 or thereabout. So it's not something too much. It's pretty low, cheap compared to what is obtainable in other developed countries of the world, and yet the education standard is very high. So if you want to come as a self-sponsored student, I suggest, number one, get the admission. Number two, make your school fees, at least the first school fees, available. Make sure you have it. Then when you come to Japan, you can get your own scholarship. I can assure you there are a lot of scholarships in Japan, a lot of them. Like I remember one of my friends, he came here with a MEST scholarship. When he came here, he didn't like the course he was studying. He told MEST that he couldn't continue, that he wanted to change his course, but they refused. So what did he do? He changed his scholarship. It's that easy. And he abandoned the MEST scholarship. That's number one. You can get a lot of scholarships here in Japan. Number two, before you apply for the course you want to study, you can also ask the department the scholarship available, because there are a lot of scholarship available based on your nationality, based on your gender, based on the course you're studying. So you can ask your department what is obtainable for the course you're applying for. If you don't get it, which is not likely, then as a student in Japan, you're entitled to work for 28 hours. You can as well get your working permit. It doesn't take more than 2 hours. Just go to the immigration office and get your work permit. You can as well work. There are very good jobs in Japan you can engage in for you to make money and sponsor yourself in the school. If you feel you can't work, there's another thing you can do, which is you can also apply for waivers. Japan is a very lenient country. They give waivers, school fees, full or part waivers for school fees. So if you don't get the scholarship, you can also apply for a waiver. Because I have a friend, he said to me, and he's a self-sponsored student, he said to me, all through his duration as a PhD student, for one time, he never paid for school fees because things just come up. It could be a grant, it could be a waiver, it could be something else. How can they give you this waiver? They give you this waiver when you cannot pay your school fees and it's obvious and you can prove it that you can't pay. Then there will be a waiver. So, and I'll be dropping all the information in the description box. And one thing about studying coming as a student to Japan is that after your graduation, you can stay for 1 more year. You can apply for extension and they will give it to you. The only thing you need to do is to go to the embassy, apply for 1 more year extension. They will give it to you. Then that 1 year, you can use it to sort yourself out. You could go for a job, and there's a government establishment called Hello Works. You could go there and tell them you're looking for a job, so they will give you the list of jobs available for your qualification. Then possibly, likely, you get one job there. And one thing about this country is that when you get a job, the job fully sponsors your visa. I also have a friend that came as a self-sponsored student. He has been in Japan for over 30 years. I will be stopping this video here, but part 2 will be coming up shortly. And if you have any question, any comment, please drop it in the comment section. If you want to reach me directly, please follow me on Instagram. Chike Uduma is there on the screen. Chike Uduma. Follow me on Instagram, DM me. I promise I'll respond to all messages. And also, if you need any source of assistance, please, you can also DM me. Okay, so this video, I wanted to initially, when I thought of making this video, I wanted to make it private for only my subscribers. But on the second thought, I said a lot of people would need this information. So that's why I'm making it public now. But the subsequent videos, especially on this subject, I'm thinking of making it private for only my subscribers, just to thank them for subscribing to this channel, because this channel is just barely 4 weeks old and I have over 150 subscribers. So please, if you like this video, if you're interested in this topic, please subscribe to this channel, because the part 2 that is coming is going to contain a lot of information and also other ways you could come to Japan. So thank you very much for listening. Like this video, share, and subscribe to this channel. Goodbye.